Hey everybody, Coach DP here, and as a part of Loveprints, what I wanted to do was to highlight coaches, to highlight teachers, to highlight educators and mentors. And in that task, you become enlightened about several different things, and you realize the things that are important, the things that require priority, and things that require more of us as coaches, parents, teachers, mentors, etc. So from that, I came up with a simple question. What is the mission? What is the task? What are we doing? And as coaches, what are the walking rules that we work from? What are the expectations that we have for our players, our student athletes, the things that we require and need from parents, and then the expectations for the players themselves. And if we had something that we could use as a go-to, kind of a working board for conversation with parents and players and administrators on what's required, how we operate, how we function, and what our priorities are. And the light bulb goes off and it says, okay, if there's a coaching commandment list, what would it be? Now, mind you, for every coach, teacher, parent, athlete, they're all different. They're all going to be different. But what I wanted was some common template to start from and work from. Now, I came up with mine, and this was a one-time sitting kind of deal. So if I missed something or anything, feel free to chime in and we'll make amendments to it. But this is just mine and just the working form for you, that you as a coach, you as a teacher, when students walk into your classroom, what are the expectations, what are the missions, what are the goals, what are the plans, what are the focuses, and what are the priorities? You as a coach, when you introduce yourself to the players, what are the working orders? What are the things that are required of them by you and of you by them? And if those are known and they're stated clearly and definitively, then it makes everybody's job easier. It makes success easier. It makes boundarying easier. It makes helping easier. It makes coaching easier. The same applies for teachers, that within your classroom, what are the working orders that you work from, and are your students aware of those things so that you can do the job that you were paid to do and they can do the job that they are tasked with. And this goes outside of sports, because you as a manager or an executive, you as a supervisor, you should have your working orders and the things that you need of your people and the things that you demand of yourself. And if they're similar and the same and they are agreeable, then your task becomes easier, and the people that you work with, their task becomes easier. So what I've done is put together, and this is just a working list. This was my 10 coaching commandments for me. I shared it with a few other coaches. I'm going to go to them with some information over, with some requests for what theirs would be, if they're in agreement with me, if there are changes that need to be made, if there are changes that would be made, if they're willing to share theirs, and then to kind of specialize. Because if you are a position coach, what are the commandments for that position in your mind? What are the 10 things that you say, that you work from on a daily basis, so that the task, whatever task you give to your young people, they can fulfill them? And then what are the things that those young people need in order to do those things? So I hope that this is a discussion leader, that this is a boundary setter and a standard raiser. Because for me, if I'm going to coach, and you know what my rules of engagement are and what the things that I hold true and dear, then I can be held accountable to those things. And if I'm not doing those things, then parents, players, administrators can say, hey, listen, that's not what we're doing. That I thought this is different. This is what we said we're doing. To hold me to it, to hold the students to it, to hold the athletes to it, to hold the parents to it, and etc. So I hope you take a look. Share if you must. Comment if you will. I'm okay with it. This is working order. It's all a love in action, and an action in love, and in another way to love out loud. So have at it. Here are the coaching commandments.